2,350. That is how many people from our community shared their opinion with the United States Coast Guard about the proposed changes to the St. Lucie River Railroad Bridge. 2,350 comments were submitted during the public comment period, and together with my staff, we went through every last one of them. Now I'm going to tell you what was said, but first, I want to thank you all. You made your voice heard. When we hosted the Coast Guard Admiral right here on our waterway, you all showed up in force. Hundreds of boats gathered at the St. Lucie River Railroad Bridge just behind me and sent a very clear message. This is something that matters to our community, from being able to enjoy the water to concerns about public safety and economic impacts. We have a stake in how this bridge is regulated, and we're not going to let the Coast Guard steamroll our community in this process. I'm always honored to represent the Treasure Coast, but I was especially proud. My chest was out on that specific day. Now let's get into the comments. The overwhelming majority of comments were concerned about how this proposal would negatively impact boaters and water usage for the residents of places like Stewart, Jensen Beach, Palm City. Nearly 500 people left comments that expressed opposition to Brightline's expansion and showed just how vital water is to the life on the Treasure Coast. On top of that, roughly 300 people expressed concern that these regulations would harm our economy. They rightly pointed out that the marine sector is and has always been the lifeblood of Florida's coast and its economy, and that Brightline, they're just looking to borrow money from the taxpayers. Dozens also asked the Coast Guard to make sure that taller cargo is still able to clear the bridge. Along those lines, our community continues to grow and attract folks from across the country, and they came to experience our water. The chance to spend the weekend on the water with friends and family is what makes this Treasure Coast so special in part. That's why it's so important that we protect that accessibility. Almost 600 people got very specific about how they believe the bridge should actually operate from hour to hour and day to day. They disagreed with the U.S. Coast Guard's proposal to keep the bridge in a down position for 45 minutes every hour. Folks said that it would adversely affect the ability to navigate the waters, because it would. The amount of boats that would have to wait will take more than 15 minutes to clear that waterway every hour. Others said that it should, at the very least, give equal opportunity for trains and boats, that the bridge should be up a minimum of 30 minutes per hour, excluding the time that it takes to open, and that it should go up and down on the hour and the half hour. Failing to give at minimum 30 minutes per hour was also a major safety concern for over 200 people. Under the status quo, there are 3 bridges in close proximity to each other, and having a number of boats loitering in the narrow passage already poses potential risks. Not everyone agreed that boaters should have the right of way, and that's okay. Not everybody has to think the same way. This was a chance for folks on both sides of the debate to weigh in and share their opinion with the U.S. Coast Guard. Now, while I don't agree with the 50 people that said that, I'm glad that those people participated in the discussion. This is how democracy works. So here's where we go from here. The U.S. Coast Guard is already going through the 2,350 comments, and they will take your opinions into consideration, and based on them, based on your opinions specifically, they should be drafting a regulation. Now, once that draft is finished, our community will have another opportunity to weigh in on what we think about that draft, and we can tell them what changes we think should be implemented to that proposed draft before, in my opinion, any train should be allowed to run in addition to what's already running through our community. This is a long way from finished, so I'm going to continue to fight for the Treasure Coast and keep you updated every single step of the way.